right, let's keep moving on. So page 80, let's look at that skill review. And once again, this is all review on collocations. So the words that we commonly see together. So remember, homework, that's two words that make one word. That's a compound word. It's not a collocation. Sidewalk, that's two words that we put together. We've got a compound word, but we don't have a collocation. But a collocation could be save time, eat breakfast. Those are all examples of collocations there. So looking at this skill review, we're taking this from the reading. We want to be practicing our skills with the reading. So if we look at skill review part A, we can check for each of those words what a collocation could be. So for open, we can say open a business, or you can even open an office. We can check that. Look on down at cook. So what would be some collocations for cook? And we can say we cook rice, so we can check by the rice, or we cook soup, put a check there. Do we cook ice cream? No, we don't cook ice cream. So cook is something that we can cook a meal, we can cook rice, we can cook soup, but we can't cook ice cream. You can make ice cream, but you don't cook it. And then look at serve, that word. So we can also say serve rice. That would be an example of a collocation. Or serve soup. We can serve ice cream, so that's another collocation. Or we can serve a salad. So when we're talking about any types of food, we can generally say serve. I can say, oh, it's now time, I will serve you dessert. Or you might say, oh, lunch is served, dinner is served. So when we're talking about any types of food or just meals, we can use the collocations with serve. And then let's look at gain. Our collocations, we can say gain 5 pounds. Now this isn't on here, but let's think of the opposite. What's the opposite of gain? Should be thinking lose. So we can have collocations saying I gained 5 pounds, I gained 10 pounds. Or we can have collocations saying I lost 5 pounds, I lost 10 pounds. And then also looking over, you can gain a kilo, of course, just a different type of measurement that we use. So once again, for collocations, just a review. With collocations, why should we be learning them? Why should we be aware of them? We've talked about, we've realized that we actually know more collocations than we even knew we knew. So why is that important? Why is it important to be paying attention to collocations? And you can go back in your notes and look at the answer. So one thing we talked about, the importance of knowing them, is that it is going to improve our reading speed. If we are prepared, if we're already expecting a word, because we realize typically after the word save, we might have time or money used, it's going to make us faster readers. We're not thinking through each individual meanings. I had an example of this the other day. I was at Kroger getting some groceries, and there was probably a high school student out, and he was wiping down the carts after we used them. So I had finished grocery shopping, I paid for my groceries, I was putting my cart back, and he started to say to me, have a good, you fill in the blank. So we're probably thinking day, right? Have a good day. That's an example of a collocation, good day. So that's what my mind was thinking, and I was already preparing to say thank you. So I started to say that. But actually what he said, he didn't use a collocation. So it threw me off a little bit. He said, have a good apocalypse. Not what my brain was thinking. If you don't know what apocalypse is, that is end of the world type. So I said thank you because my brain had already processed he's going to say day, because that's what we typically think of. But when he didn't use a collocation, I had to stop, I had to think for a moment, think about what he actually said. So collocations make us faster readers. They make us more fluent readers. That's just a language skill that we want to work on building up. As we practice, as we develop our English skills for that. And then also with collocations, Do the two words always have to appear right next to each other? So let's take good day for an example. Have a good day. Do those words always have to appear right next to each other to be a collocation? And hopefully you all are saying no. No, we can separate those words. So I can say, I hope you have a very great day. Or I saved so much time by using ClickList for Kroger. So we can separate the words in a collocation. They don't always have to be side by side next to each other, but there's still a collocation. So before, I've used the example of, you can think of this in terms of marriage. If you're married, you've got a husband and a wife, you've got two different people, but together, my husband and I are the Hustos. So we've got two separate people, and if you think of us as a collocation, we're married even if we're spread apart. Even if my husband's outside and I'm inside, we're still married. It doesn't change it. Our location doesn't change. The same with words. Even if the words aren't right next to each other, they can still be a collocation. So just to recap, we want to learn collocations because it makes us faster readers. Collocations do not always have to be right next to each other. And also collocations can be noun and nouns together. They can be verb plus a noun. They can be a verb plus a preposition. We can have different types, different parts of speech used for collocations. Right now we're just going to focus on those collocations primarily using the verbs and the nouns. But as we progress and as you take more reading classes at JCTC, we'll talk about more collocations.